Hey guys, Jeff here, Dice Setters. So I had a question, well actually somebody emailed me about rolling on axis. I don't know much about it, but I will tell you the most I know about it. Rolling on axis basically means that we're going to sit there and continue it to spin this way in the air. And in the end result, we're hoping not to get a 5 or a 2. If we hit a 5 and 2, then we know that we didn't roll on axis. I don't think you could roll possibly on edge like this. It'd be very, very hard. But most people generally that roll on axis, they'll do the die set, whatever it is. The most common die set rolling on axis would be a mirror image of themselves, hardway set, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter which way it is. It's going to be a hard way. It's a mirror image of themselves. The bad thing about the hardway set is it just, if they were land, one goes this way, one goes that way, you're going to get a 7. No matter which combination you use. If you use that, one this way, one that way is going to be 7. So, doesn't matter. One this way, one that way, 7. So that's the hard reaction, the hard truth of it all. But I tried it Saturday, and I was pleased with the outcome. So, here goes our hardway sets. You don't have to use a hardway set to roll on axis, but typically that's what people do. We have 7 to 1 here, 7 to 1 here on the 10 and 4. And then we have 9 to 1, 9 to 1 on the 8 and the 6. So I want these two. They have better pay. So I'm going to sit there and make sure that the 5 and the 2 are on the outsides. Dice are amazing. Whatever the one is on the top, the other one's going to be a 7 if you add the two together. So 5 and 2. So we're going to put 5 and 2 on the outside. And to make it easier for people to remember what we're doing a 1-2. That makes it nice and easy. 1-2, 1-2. There's people that roll on axis. Bone Thrower, he rolls on axis. Crypto Wolf, he has not made a video in some time, at least I don't think so. He always would roll on axis as well. Crypto Wolf, it was always on the on the edges that he would grab the dice. Bone Thrower is the one that taught me that you'll get more of a spin if you can throw on the cut edge of the dice. And so this would be the cut edge of the dice, because now you can really get that to flow, a backspin, versus holding it like this. You're going to have less of a chance to get it to spin. The other thing I know about rolling on axis is that no matter how you hold it, your thumb has got to be the only thing that moves. So once you pitch it out there, you just want your thumb to, just like that. If your fingers move, it will actually cause the dice to separate even more. They are going to separate no matter what, but you don't want them to separate. You want them to tumble together. They will never get, like gum stuck here, but you want them relatively close. And that way that when they land, you're going to get yourself a hard way. So that's what we're trying for. We're trying for a hard way. So once we establish our point, and we're trying for just two numbers. We're trying for a hard 8, a hard 6. If you get good at it, I would suggest putting a quarter there. Quarter times 9, that's quite a bit of money. And you can imagine if you could do this 3 or 4 times during that game. The only downside is we have an easy way to get a 7. I did it 3 times in a row, and I was just trying. I don't know if I can do it now, but we'll try. You always want to keep your hand level with the table. You don't want to have your hand on the table, but definitely, you want to pick it up and always be the same. Always consistency. Most people, when they do it, they'll only pull back just a hair. You don't want to sit there and, it's just a small pullback. And then it's going to be let it go, and it's only the thumb that lets the dice go. These fingers are going to stay together. That keeps them together. The hardest part, if you've never done this before, is getting to this position. We all want to sit there and get the other hand out there. The dealers won't like that. You're like, well, how come the dealers don't like that? you can have such a sleight of hand that I could sit there and change this dice if I had both hands here, and you would even think I had the same dice, but all I did was a sleight of hand, never playing with my dice on the table, which is illegal. It's only one hand on the table, that way they know that there's less chance of you sitting there switching the dice. I wouldn't say impossible, but there's less chance of you sitting there switching the dice. Again, you're not going to cock it back like this. It's going to be just a small. You don't want to hit the table, and we'll see what happens. That's going to be a 4. They didn't make my landing zone as good as I want it to, but it's only the first roll. We got to establish a point. I would go ahead and put 6 and 8, and have it working. If you're going to do this roll, even on the come out roll, it gives you more chances to win that money. Again, we're going to sit there and just kind of rock it up. Still working on my landing. It's going to be an 8. Bring it all the way down so the camera can see. Eight. Again, we're trying to stay away from the 5, but I keep on having to hit the 5. So that's showing me that I'm not staying on axis. My landing, I think, is what's killing it. I was watching King Dice, and he was with color up. And I fully agree with him by saying that when you get to the table, you don't want to just start betting a lot of money. You need time to practice warming up, getting your throw down. Each table is going to be different. That was a bad throw as well. But we got our point. Low bets. Watch what you're doing. And then after a couple of rolls, couple of turns, your practice session is over. Now it's time to make money. See if I can get that landing down. No, still not sticking that on that landing. The nice thing is that I'm rolling on axis. There's no 5 or 2. Came out point's going to be a 9. I do have something special coming down the pipe. I can't say much about it. You gotta stay tuned. Subscribe, stay tuned. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. I don't want to sit there and spoil it. I want to make sure all my ducks are in a row before I sit there and say anything. It's a 6. That 5 still came out there. The 1's pointed right there, so I was closer than I normally am. I'm getting them to do the same thing. I don't have trivia for you guys this time. I will email the people that did win the trivia last time. I didn't write a note down to give you the answer. My wife did make it back from Alaska. She came in this morning. There we go. That's what we're looking for. think I need to pull my landing zone just a little bit back. Yeah, pulled it back too much. Again, that 5 should not appear. It's going to be an 8. Your 11. The 5 is pointed right there, so this dice actually took a little bit of a bounce. If you notice, the 3s are together. We're getting closer to what we're looking for. And there goes the 2 I didn't want. 5 and a 2. So that time they both did not roll on access. So there's that way of rolling on access. Axis. No. Bad pronunciation. Axis. The bone thrower had one that was incredibly hard for me to do. I don't remember the die set. I even think I even had a video on it. But he would get you to get on the cut edge, and then you would hold it this way and you would rotate it. So the axis was actually a spiral. So this way or that way. Let's try it again. Let's see if I can't get better at hitting the hard ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hits with 1 down. Let's try that again. And this time I'll try to stick my landing just a hair better. Let me scoot back just a hair. I'll try to stick to this 10. Right over the top of the 10. Not normally would you be playing on this side, you play on that side, but I didn't want to move my tablecloth back on this side. Boy, that was a horrible landing. You're 11. That's okay. Come out and roll. Everybody got paid. Except if you were on the dark side. Well, that didn't make it to the 11. You want to go by the 10. Try to do it the same every single time. That landing's killing me. That's a 9. That time I pulled it way too far back. Let's get those hardways. That's what we're after. That's what's going to make money. I really like watching Crypto Wolf. Landing is horrible on that one. And I got a 7. One more time for redemption. Let's move to the 9. Four. That was better. The landing. Not the outcome. The landing was better. Sometimes you can get too high, like you're trying to knock out a satellite. That's not what we're trying for. Should just be a nice backhanded throw. The dice should stay together. Five. Maybe I should put a little more spin on it. Four. Got our point. I tell you the one thing, if you ever watch Crypto Wolf's videos, sometimes you're deceived by how big that table is. And he seemed to have 2 tables, and one table seems to be smaller than the other. But being as a video, it's really hard to tell how big something is. 3. That's why you use insurance on the C, on the come out roll, because of that. And that's a set. We'll call that a wrap. Our point's not even set. I guess we won't call that a wrap. Everybody on the table just won money. Put that there for the 7. Your 11. Imagine if all you did was roll horn numbers and 7s on your opening roll. I guess there's nothing wrong with that, if you can do it. Your 11. I think I see a pattern here. It's not the pattern I want, which basically means that my left-hand dice is rolling over one. So maybe more spin. Eight. I think that was go. Now we have 8. That's a come out roll. We'll give it a dollar chip. And there goes my 7. That one was not good. The dice were close together, but they both flipped. That's rolling on axis. Completely different if you don't have the camera in front of you. And I know some people go, well, there's cameras in front of you in the casino. I really don't think they're looking at every single one. I bet you they're looking for, hey, this guy every time he comes in, he always wins 10 grand. Something to that effect. I don't think they're keeping an eye on everything. I really don't. So it doesn't bother me. But yeah, it's a little bit different when you have, a video person, messes with your mind or whatever. But it's all a mind game. It is all a mind game. If you can do it without the cameras rolling, without anybody there, you can do it in a full casino. You're just going to have to sit there and watch the TV as in between rolling, or listen to the music, chew gum, put an earbud in your ear, something that you can sit there and drown out the, your mind thinking about, too many things. When you don't think about it, that's when you're going to do perfect. But when you start thinking too much about it, my thumb placement, my rotation, everything else, it's all a mind game. And those that can do well, they can control that mind game. Those that can't do well, either they need to be practiced, or again, it's all in the mind. That's my game for today. Like, share, subscribe. We're really close to being 500, which means we're only halfway to where I really want to be, which would be 1,000. Again, we're gonna have some really cool things up and coming. I got to visit a couple of places, make sure it's okay for me to do what I want to do, and then I'll let you guys know. And this is your guys' channel, just as much as it's my channel. And if you guys want to see different things, email me. I've been extremely busy. My wife again was gone, and so it was just me running everything. So if I didn't get to you, or if I missed your email, I'm sorry. There was 2 people that commented on a video, and for some reason I can't like your comment. I only see it, and then when I go to that last film, it's gone. So I'm not really for sure. But if I didn't comment on it, or didn't put a thumbs up or whatever, it's probably because I can't. And for some reason I don't know. I've never seen 2 comments that are on your comment page, but then when you go further, they're gone. Don't know. One of those YouTube things, they might reappear for me to sit there and give them a thumbs up and answer a question that was on one of the questions, on the comments. But anyhow, like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned. We're going to have fun. And this is a fun channel. This is how to win money. And if you have questions, I can kind of show you. Again, I don't roll on axis because of how difficult it is. It doesn't mean you have to have that die set. You can have any die set you want, but whatever you don't want is what you're going to put on the outside edges. And if you roll it just like that, it will work. Even if you have one kick out and the other one still roll, you'll still be okay. It's when both of them do it. Such as my die set was this and this, and then you kick it out this way, and then that guy kicks out, and that's what happens. So as you see, it's you got to know what you're doing to do this die set. But again, if you want to stick away from, I don't want to roll a 5, and I don't want to roll, a 2 or whatever, you stick them on the outside edges, or a 4 and a 3. But it doesn't mean that you have to roll that way, but that's rolling on axis. I imagine there's probably some really good dice combinations that will prevent you from rolling the 7. I just don't know any, because I don't roll on axis. It's too difficult. That bone thrower one that I showed you, that he sits there and spirals, I must have tried for months. I never could get it down. Bone thrower, he does it tremendously. He does it without any problems. Yeah, I struggle with it. I just stick with what I know. Just because one thing works for you, it might not work for me. If one thing works for me, it might not work for you. We just got to find that medium of, okay, he did it this way. I tweaked it just a hair. Now it works fantastic. Have a good one, guys. Talk to you next week. Later.